If you're thinking about building a new house, here are some things to consider that will save you time, money, and stress. My name is Heidi Knowlton, and I'm a local real estate agent here in northern Utah, and I specialize in brand new homes. One reason I like going with a new build versus an existing home is that new builders have specials all the time. They have discounts, they have incentives, they have lower interest rates, they have seller concessions, they have free upgrades, and especially if they have a home that they want to move quickly, you can get a good special on that, a good price, some kind of incentive. So if you are in the market for a house, I highly recommend looking at new construction because you can save a lot of money going that route. So the first place and the most obvious thing to start with is your budget. We want to know upfront how much home can you afford, how much money do you have set aside in savings, how much money can you put down, and that really tells us which direction to go on your new build. It tells us where you can purchase, what kind of home you can purchase. And when it comes to budgeting, you also want to have some money set aside for unexpected costs, such as if you're building a custom home, you might have some added fees due to land preparation or getting utilities into the home. If you are building, let's say, a spec home that's already been built, you're not really customizing it very much. You have added fees for landscaping, for sprinklers, interior finishes, upgrades, and just things like that come up. Those are just budget items you don't have to consider when you're buying a home that's already been built. When it comes to budgeting to buy a new house, it also tells us if you can buy custom or not custom. If you are buying a custom home, you need to have a big chunk of money to put down for a construction loan. But if you are buying an existing, like a builder, a master plan community, something that's already there and existing, you're just purchasing the house like a spec home, then you just need to have your earnest money and whatever down payment for the loan. It doesn't require such a big amount of money up front to get started on the process. If you are building a custom home, it's good to have about 10 to 20% of additional money, additional reserves for unexpected costs that might come up. Once you have your budget figured out, the next step is to figure out, do you want to build a custom home from the ground up? Do you want to do semi-custom? Do you want to do like a spec home? Or you go to a builder and they have like a neighborhood already and it's a master plan community and you're kind of customizing your home within that community. There are several ways to go when it comes to building a house. And again, budget will determine kind of where you go. But if you are looking to just go purchase a home that's already been built by a builder, it's a much less stressful process. Whereas if you're going to the full custom route, it is a more stressful process and it's a more lengthy process. If you are building a custom home, you're going to be looking at probably a year, 1.5 to 2 years, depends on how big your home is going to be. If you are just purchasing from a builder, they usually can have a house built in like 6 to 9 months. So knowing your timeline ahead of time, when do you want to get into your house? Are you flexible? There's almost always going to be delays, whether you go to custom home or if you just buy a spec home, or if you buy a home where you're just building it from the builder, there's usually always delays, and make sure you have that flexibility within your timeline so that you can handle that when unexpected things come up. When it comes to financing a brand new home, there are a couple different ways you can go. So if you are buying a house from a builder, it's in a neighborhood, usually they carry all of the building costs. You just go in, you buy the house just like a normal house, like if it was an existing house, you just buy it the same way. They determine your earnest money. So if you're buying a home that's existing, the buyer, you determine your earnest money. It's usually 1 to 2%. If you're building a new home, the builder determines what your earnest money is, and they determine your deadlines in the contract. So it's a little bit more strict. But if you're going with a custom home, there's a couple different ways that you can finance it. So you can purchase the land first and then pay on the land while the house is being built. You can have a construction loan. You can have it where the builder carries the loan. You can have 2 loans going at once and then you refinance it at the very end. So there's a lot of customization and it just depends on what bank you're going with. I would also suggest reaching out to local banks because local banks sometimes have portfolio loans. That means it's a loan that just that bank offers, not all the banks offer. It's like their little special secret loan, and a lot of times they have incentives for construction loans, and so that's a good route to go. If you need any recommendations on that, just comment below and I'll get you what you need. Okay, so let's talk about upgrades. When you are building a custom home, you can do whatever you want to the house pretty much. You can add, there's not really any limitations, right, when you're building your own custom home. Whenever you are building with a builder, though, that has got like a master plan community, depends on where you come into the home building process on how much customization you can do. If you're coming from the very beginning, they haven't even dug a hole yet, then you can have a lot more customization when it comes to your finishes. Most master plan communities will tell you like you can have this house will fit with this elevation, and the elevation is the exterior of the home, what it looks like. So they'll say you can choose from these 3 because they want to have them in a certain order and a certain presentation. Or in addition, when it comes to upgrades, If you buy a home that's almost finished or it already has permits pulled, anything like that, you can't, if you're too far along in the process, you can't customize it anymore. They've got the cabinets chosen, countertops chosen, flooring chosen, all that is already done. And so you're just walking in, waiting for them to finish it up, and then you move in once the home is finished. So that's one thing to consider, is how customized do you want your home? Do you want to be able to pick out countertops and sinks and light fixtures? So know ahead of time how much of customization you want, so you can know where to go and what process and which home would be a good fit for you. Talk about buyer representation. When you go to purchase a new home, you still want to have your own buyer agent, buyer real estate agent representing you, so someone has your back. Because when you go build a home with a builder, they have their agents there and they can help you and they can answer your questions and represent you, but their number one client is their seller. So they have their best interest at heart. And so when you come in as a buyer without an agent, sure, you can use them, but you're still kind of flying solo, because you're not going to get full disclosure of everything. It's not, when they're working for the builder, they have the builder's interest at heart. That's number one. So it's important that you bring your own buyer's agent to the model home if you're going to look at homes, because most builders, you have to have your agent with you whenever you go tour homes. Otherwise, they will cut the agent out of the picture. And well, actually, they'll let you bring the agent, but then you need to pay for it. So if you want to have the seller pay for the commission, or at least try to negotiate some of the commission that the seller pays, you need to have your agent with you on that very first visit. So I've seen so many stories of things that go wrong when the buyers use the builder's agent. Things are neglected, things are overlooked, you're not informed as much. When you have your own agent with you, we are on top of things. We are checking in on the home, we are checking in with the builder, we are following up to make things are done the correct way. And you just know more about the transaction when you have your own buyer's agent that can really look out for you and read the contract, because those builder contracts are different than the Utah contract that's in the MLS. So it's important that before you sign a contract, you have a real estate agent go through and read everything, because they have really tight deadlines you want to know about, because that puts your earnest money at risk. They also have, it's a charge called per diem, whereas if you're late on closing, they're going to charge you $100 a day or $200 a day. There's little like bits and pieces of the contract that as a buyer, you really want to know about before you sign it. And having an agent that looks at contracts all the time, or even an attorney, if you have a real estate attorney, have them review that contract so you know what you're getting into. We had one contract where the buyer was purchasing a home and it had a really small backyard, and we didn't know that they were going to install a retaining wall, which cut their yard in half. So reading through the fine print on the contract, it read that the builder can modify the backyard as they see fit. And so this builder had to build this huge retaining wall, and my clients canceled. They lost their money, they lost their earnest money, but this was just one part of the contract that was overlooked, and it was not a good situation. It was not fun. The clients were mad. They lost their money. They couldn't get the house they wanted and had to start all over with their search. So be mindful that when those builder contracts, there are little statements in there where they can modify things, change things. Maybe the floor plan won't look exactly the way the model home, or you just want to be really informed and really well educated when it comes to reading contracts, so there aren't any surprises. Thinking about building a home in any specific area and you want more information on a builder, or you want more information on specials or any floor plans, just comment below. I will get you that information. All my contact info is in the description, and you can get a hold of me anytime and I can get you the information that you need so you can make the best choice for yourself. I'm well connected with many of the builders in town, and I get their specials, I get their emails, I get notified when they have homes they need to sell quickly. I get notified of upcoming neighborhoods in the area. So if you are looking for a new home, please feel free to reach out. I'm happy to help and get you any information that you need. If there are any questions you have I did not answer, please put them below in the comments. I will check those out and get right back to you. I would love to hear your experience. If you have built a new home, did it go well? Did it go poorly? What did you think of it? Was it stressful? Did it take too long? Or did you have a builder that got it done really quickly? I would love to hear your experience. Comment below, let me know, and I'll see you on the next video.